Shabbat Shalom to you. We arrived to this very interesting portion. Chaye Sarah. Sarah lived. And in this portion, we see this portion about life. We see the passing of two new heroes in the scripture. I call it new because they were the beginners of the formation of what is going to be later on called Israel. Abraham Avinu and Sarah Iman. And both of them, they are going to die. They are going to pass to another life. Now, sometimes we look about life, and one time I heard somebody saying, we're born to die. And in certain ways, that's not totally wrong, but we need to understand the process. You see, we need to see ourselves from the beginning of creation. Our Creator breathed on us, and breathing on us gave us life. We are forming conception inside the womb of the mother, and the moment that there is conception, there is life. And this life is formed from the beginning, and there's nothing else that you can add it to it. When the seed of the father with the egg of the mother, they get together, they form a new human being. And believe me, after that conception, there is nothing else that can be added to it. The only thing that we have to wait is time. The time of growing and becoming mature, if you will. In modern times, we have called it, now we don't call it baby from the moment of conception. We have invented a word, fetus. The fetus is totally dehumanizing. Okay? And we have created that term to dehumanize the human being that is in the womb of the mother. There is nothing else that we can add it to it, like I said to you before. And it's already a human being. The only thing that needs is time to be totally cooked. We can see it like that. It's in the oven. When you put a cake in the oven, you need to wait until it's ready. You pitch in there, you check it, it's dry and thin and ready to take it out. Well, that's what the baby is. But we do not like that. We have been modernized. We have been so secularized. We have been so bombarded by ideas from the Creator, anti-God, anti-everything, and we have lost our moral values. It's very interesting. More and more we're getting away from the Creator's word, from the Torah. And more, even we as Jewish people, as Israel, we are running away from the Torah. We have this idea of being liberals, being open-minded. Now we think for ourselves. That's wonderful to think for ourselves. But what is really the ideas that you are getting into? The ideas you're getting is totally anti-God. We have been last week, we have seen something very ugly. And we have seen one of the situations of anti-Semitism, anti-Jews. And we sometimes ask ourselves, what have we have done to deserve so much hatred from the world? And we wanted or not to recognize the only reason that we are hated is because what do we represent? And we represent the true Borei Olam, the true Creator, the true God, the only one. Because we were chosen for something special. And this special was to be Or Legoyim, to bring light to the world. But what happened when we go against those values? We are anti-life. And we look at death as something that is most important than living. Right now, it's very popular, by the way, this idea of euthanasia. Everybody has the right to take their own life. You know? And sometimes there is a conflict. If somebody wants to commit suicide, the police comes. You know? Well, how are you going to commit suicide? No, but you have the right to kill yourself. No? What is this? Or with the babies, you know? The baby in the womb of the mother is a fetus. You know? It's not a human being. You can abort it and kill it anytime that you want it. But if somebody run over a mother that is pregnant, that man or woman who runs over the mother is accused of 2 murders. Double homicide. You know, you ask yourself, and this is the hypocrisy of the world. We are in the hypocrisy of the world. You know, and it's not here holier than thou or to be better than anybody else. Totally the contrary. It's about our values. Sarah and Abraham Avinu, they came out from a very different environment. And they were revealed something new about the only one creator, the only one God. They didn't need to follow all their gods or their areas or their environment. They knew the true God. And the role was to tell others about that God. Wherever they went, the people that they have, they will tell them about their God. There is a word that many people don't like it, but sometimes they were doing what I would call a missionary. You know, they were telling others about the God, the true God. But at the difference of the missionary, they didn't scare anybody, or didn't force anybody, or they didn't invite anybody. They put it there, and was up to the person to accept it or to reject it. Because nobody is brought to the Creator by force. Today we have religion, they are expanding. But how they expand themselves? By the sword, by the killing, by the frightening, by the terrorizing people. They want to impose their values. No. But with values, we cannot legislate morality. But we can teach about the true God. And the true God can transform life. And that's what Sarah and Abraham Avinu represent. The transformation of one environment to the environment of the Creator. The way humanity has totally gone wrong. The Creator brings this couple in order to bring back not only His name, but to show them about the true values. And Abraham represents those values, and Sarah represents those values. That doesn't mean that Sarah and Abraham Avinu were perfect. That many people would like to teach. Totally the contrary. In their imperfection, we see the perfection of the Creator. Because we see that the Creator is working with them in spite of themselves. And they try constantly to be better. Constantly to do better things. You know, in this portion, there are many midrashim. And if you start reading the midrashim, sometimes you yourself are saying they have too much imagination or what they were drinking when they were writing those things. You know? But then if you slow down and you start to analyzing why they say certain things, it's because it's exactly the same mistake that many of us we commit. You know what is the mistake that we need to defend the Creator. The Creator cannot do anything wrong. You know? And we need to defend Him. You know? We need to be sure that when He does something, you know, He put perfect people. And totally the contrary. He put regular people. And people who are going to respond to Him. And He's not going to force them to respond. They give them the chance to respond for themselves. Sarah was a very special woman. What we call it, those women that do you remember the women that went to the Wild West? You know, pioneers. She was the first pioneer. She was going to go to the Wild West. No? She was going to go to a totally different territory. And you know what? She was faithful to her husband. Her husband said, I had a conversation with the Creator. Which Creator? Now, let me tell you. And he sat down and explained to Sarah. And Sarah understood. He said, yes, I follow you. We are going to be partners on this enterprise. And they both became pioneers. And Sarah supported her husband in every way, all the time. Sometimes in difficult times. You know, Abraham Avinu was telling her how much I wish to have a son. How much I desire to have a son. Do you think Sarah was not feeling guilty? Sarah was not feeling bad as a woman to be barren? That she couldn't give it to her husband, his greatest desire to have a son? And look at to which level she got. The love that he had for her husband. That she said, well, if I cannot give him a son, I'm going to bring a girl to give a son to him. I wonder, if you are women, I wonder if you understand what was the great love of Sarah for her husband. But that backfired. Why? Because already had been a revelation. The Creator has already told them, especially Abraham Avinu, that he was going to have this descendant through Sarah. But Sarah was an old woman. And she was not any longer a young woman. She didn't have her monthly situation that the women have. She has lost that. She knew that she couldn't conceive anymore. That was impossible for her. When you think it is impossible for you, what is saying in the parasha before? What do you think is impossible for the Creator? As the angel to Sarah. There's nothing impossible for him. He can do whatever he wants to do. If he has promised something, he keeps his word. He's not like us human beings. But Sarah couldn't wait. And he got ahead. But because of love. But like I said to you, that backfired. Now, Abraham had a wonderful time because he had a son now. The son was Ishmael. And then when King Isaac was born, that created a big problem. And that was what we call it, two women fighting against each other for the men. And that is normal. It's a problem. Then she said to Abraham Avinu, get rid of that. He cannot be inherited with my son. With my son. And Abraham Avinu started, saying, no, wait, Jose. I cannot do that. It's my son. And he was very reluctant. And then he heard a voice. And they said, do what Sarah is telling you to do, because your son Ismael also is going to be a great nation, and they are going to have many, many more things. Then he heard that the Creator was saying, don't worry about Ishmael, I take care of him. That's the reason that Abraham Avinu allowed to go. Because the promise of the Creator was, I want to take care of him. That is the the reason that he didn't worry anymore about Ishmael. And Ishmael was very well taken care of. In some of the Midrashim, Chaye tell us that Sarah was superior to Abraham. She was a prophetess. And we know that she was superior because God told Abraham to listen to her. That's it when sometimes we go berserk. We go to different, we interpret it in different ways. Okay? That's it when we go outside the canons of the interpretation. The Creator has his plans and the Creator knew what he was doing. And sometimes go beyond our own knowledge or understanding. And not necessarily because she desired something that was not right. The man, she was right, but it's because of what the Creator wanted to accomplish. The point that I'm trying to make to you is, Sarah was a real woman, very strong to survive in that environment, and with great love for her husband. In 2 occasions, she was ready to sacrifice herself for the well-being of her husband, to save his life. And they say that in this parasha, they say that she heard the Satan revealed to her that Abraham Avinu has killed Isaac. And in that moment she had a heart attack. She passed out. And you read another Midrashim about the question why Abraham Avinu was coming from Beersheba to Hebron. Well, they have separate beds. You know, they live in separate tents, very far apart from 2 different towns. You know? Another thing is about Keturah. You know? Most of the Midrashim, to trying to cover up, they say that Keturah was not another woman. That was Hagar. And Hagar was, changed her name to Keturah. She had more, because always we're trying to cover up and to keep the good side. We cannot deal with the facts that we have. We always condemn. We cover up. We are accustomed to live by the form, not by the reality. And that's it, to me, is hypocrisy. And the Torah is teaching us totally the contrary. The Torah is teaching us to be ourselves. And the Torah, the formation of Israel, starts with Abraham and Sarah. Not a perfect couple, but a couple that they were together until the end. And we saw a wonderful woman, very strong woman, with a lot of qualities as a woman. And to have a child at the age of 90 years old that tell you how strong she was. People say, how can you believe on that? The woman 90 years old can have a child. I say, if you don't want to believe, don't believe. That doesn't make any difference to me, because you know, to me, the problem is not if she was 90 or she was 20. To me, the secret was that she couldn't conceive, and now she conceived. And all the women of our ancestors, they had the same problem. Rivka had the same problem. Leah had the same problem. Rachel had the same problem. And it's the Creator who opened the womb to give us a sign that who they are going to come out. They are going to be men or women. They are going to be special. More and more, when we study the Torah, we need to be more open-minded, I say. about to be rigorous literalists or theologians that trying to interpret it whatever we want according to our dogmas or our doctrines. But what we need to learn to study the scripture is to say what the Creator is trying to tell me now, for me today, through these stories. What I can learn and what I can apply. What are the values that I can get from this? We are fighting, it's very interesting, I had a conversation about, because in these ideas, we have pictures, you know? And one of the pictures is about the coming of Mashiach. And we are going to see pictures, for example, they see Isaac as a type of Mashiach. Then we're going to see later on, we're going to see Jacob, a type of Mashiach. And we go on with them among the children, we have Joseph, type of Mashiach, we have Judah, a type of Mashiach. Different, types. And each one start fighting. If he's or he's not, and he's the Mashiach, he's the anointed, and all of these things. And you know what? This idea of Mashiach is an idea that has been developed to the time. There is not in the Torah, nor in the Tanakh, a definition of what the Mashiach is in the sense of definition, what the man is going to do and not to do. We take from different places. We take from Aaron, that he was anointed. We take from the prophet that are anointed, We take from the king that have been anointed. And then the word anointed Mashiach. And then we make a compound personality. And we put all in that basket. And we're trying to make something from there. And sometimes we forget. One very important idea. The Creator is constantly acting with the people of His time. At this moment I am talking to you, our Creator not only is acting, but He's working with us. We see right now the situation, what is going on. We just saw what happened, this barbaric thing last week in Pittsburgh, in the synagogue. But I would like to challenge to you to ask yourself why these things are happening. As I just mentioned to you, the reason is because who we represent as a people. And the word that they have is against the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true God. That's the hatred. And the jealousy about many group of people that say, why I have not been chosen? Like being chosen is better than anything else. Because we live in a world that is more important what I supposedly I represent than what really I am. We live in a world that what is more important is what people see than what the reality is. We constantly live by appearances. Look at the young people today about their values. And you will see a very sad situation. Look at the values of today in the world. Look at the media, what portray, what transpire. Look at what are the greatest values that are passing through today. They talk about universality, acceptance among all of us. And now we're trying to impose in everybody to accept behaviors that are totally against what the Creator tells us. And today we are smarter and we are more caring than the Creator. care. We are more humans than the Creator. We are more humane than the Creator. He was a killer. We tell it the contrary. We care about human life. It's okay to kill the fetus. It's okay to kill somebody who is not any longer profitable in our society. That's okay. And Sarah lived. That's the key. When you live, when you're alive, you are doing something. Life is acting up, is doing something, creating, making, helping, being part of. Because when you are dead, that's the end. And in Judaism, we believe in life, not in death. Judaism is a belief of life, not like other groups that they believe in death as escapism or as a way of going someplace else. You see, I always give this example. I have done it before, and I want to end it with this example, because to me it's very important. I have seen it so many times. You know, when the baby is in the womb of the mother, it's in a totally different environment. It's very protected, you know. The baby has no irregular breathing or respiration. Breathe through the mother. And it's like a fish, bronchial breathing, no? And it is growing and growing. But what the baby has the environment, what the sounds or lights that he has, it's all dark. Then what will keep him comfortable is the temperature, you know, the sounds, the beating of the heart of the mother. You know, sometimes the mother talking or somebody talking and they hear noises, the soft noises. They get scared when they hear too much noise. No, they are very protected. They are very comfy. When you are very comfy and you are sleeping really well, if somebody wake you up, do you wake up very happy? What is your natural reaction? Don't bother me, get away! No? Can you imagine when you wake up a baby that's too comfortable and enjoying a good life and say, it's time for you to be born? And the child say, why? I am very comfortable. I don't want to get out. Ask mothers when they say that they have a baby, they don't want to get out. You know? Push, push, I don't want to go! Anyway, and when they are in that process, something very interesting happens. The baby needs to die. Needs to die to live. Very interesting. Needs to die to live. Because there is a moment that the baby come out and it's totally dead. And then the doctor comes and PAH! You know, I have been told by my father-in-law, he used to teach that, he was an anesthesiologist, he used to tell me, you know, the boys wake up in different way than girls. The boys, when comes a boy, they pick it up and pull the ground, and start screaming, no? The first breathe. It's like the Creator is giving air, putting His Spirit in them. Okay? With the girls, they don't need to hear it. There is a sail. You know? Okay. That's my father-in-law. But both breathe. life came to them. For us Jewish people, we believe that the Torah has already been given. And the Torah is in us, in our system. The only thing that we need to do is to become aware of it, to remember. It's like a computer that it has a memory, you know? And in order to know what they have in your memory, you need to activate it. And the breath of life activates the memory. And we start growing up. And you know, it's very interesting. We go through life. And when we become time to change this body, because it's getting obsolete. Because you see, the only thing that's eternal is the breath of life. Our bodies decompose. We made from mud, from earth, and where we return our body? To the earth. But then, we need to be born in a new process. To exactly the same thing that the baby through the womb of the mother goes to life. We need to die to go to life. And that is what to us is called eternity, because we go back to the Creator. That His breath life goes back to Him. This is the reason that in Judaism, we're a people of life. L'chaim, we say, to life, to life. We do not rejoice in death. We do not worship death. We don't teach people to die. We teach people to live. And that's what Sarah and Abraham Avinu are teaching us. L'chaim, to life. Shabbat shalom.